Hey friends, welcome back to the Guitar Max channel. So, since my signature guitar with Harley Benton came out last year, I've actually been kind of out of the loop as far as other new models that they've recently released. And I figured it was time to remedy that, so I just got this new guitar from them. This is the Harley Benton SC Custom 2 in their very tasteful Paradise Satin Flame color. And I am pleased to say that Harley Benton is just getting even better and continuing to make other companies look even worse. Now, I don't know exact numbers on how many guitars Harley Benton is selling these days, but Fender and especially Gibson have got to be shaken in their boots when you see how great of a guitar that something like this is for the money. And I bet you can even drop this one and the headstock won't break. Now, I chose this model specifically because it is super affordable. And actually, Harley Benton, they've been making some more expensive guitars lately, like getting up into the $500 to $600 level with their real high-end guitars. This one here is still just right around $200. And even if you're like me and you live in America, you got to pay a steep shipping fee to get this shipped over from Germany. Even after all of that, the guitar is still under $300. And if you're one of those cheeky blokes that lives in Europe, then the shipping's going to be way less, and sometimes it's even free. Now let's talk about the specs. And to start with, by American standards, this guitar has some pretty exotic woods. The body is made from Meranti, and it is covered in rich Carinthian leather. But seriously, Meranti is a wood that's similar to mahogany. They actually build boats out of it sometimes, and it's a very durable wood. And I think in this case, it's basically being used as a substitute for mahogany. So the body and the neck, really nice set neck back here. Look at that carved there. Anyway, the body and the neck, they're both Meranti. And then it's a Jatoba fretboard. This is Malukatarieli accent, no? It's a roasted Jatoba fretboard. And then we've got a flame maple veneer with this beautiful satin finish on this guitar. Now we get into the hardware and the electronics. So up here, we've got a nice set of Grover tuners, super smooth. And for the controls, we've got a dual volume, single tone setup, and it's a push-pull pot for splitting the humbuckers here. And the pickups themselves are the Roswell, Harley Benton's Roswell pickups. And that's one area that they save a little money on, because although these pickups sound excellent, they're not name brand pickups. So you're not paying Seymour Duncan or EMG prices. Back on that Jatoba fretboard, we've got 22 medium jumbo frets. And medium jumbo seems about right for this guitar because these are pretty tall frets, but they're not real wide. So I love the tallness of them. They're, I think, as tall as most extra jumbo frets, but they don't quite have the width that maybe like a Jackson or something would. And the frets are finished very, very nicely. You'll hear the guitar more in just a second, but the only setup change I did was I just slightly lowered the action using the bridge here. I didn't make any truss rod adjustments, anything like that. I'm not having any, there's no sharp fret ends, not having any buzzing or anything like that. And finally, obviously, Harley Benton is a German brand, but where is this actually manufactured? And I want to bring this up because I think sometimes, there's like some Harley Benton haters out there, and they're like, oh, that's just Chinese junk. Chinese junk, that's funny. Anyway, this guitar is manufactured in Indonesia. Then they do the inspection and the setup in Germany before it gets shipped out to you. And most of the Harley Benton guitars these days are made in either Indonesia or Vietnam. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and plug this in, and I'll give you some more sound samples, and you can check out the playability, and then I'll talk a little bit more about it after the demo. But of course, guys, real quick, if you enjoy videos like this, checking out cool, new, affordable guitars, and also staying up on all the latest news in the guitar universe, and you have not already subscribed for some reason which I cannot fathom, please consider subscribing right now. Okay, let's go ahead and plug this in. I'm going to use my trusty Boss IR200 cab and amp simulator, and let's listen to how this guitar sounds. Okay guys, so let's talk a little bit about the playability and of course the sound from this guitar and a few other things I want to mention. So, I mean, the playability is great. It's just a $200 guitar, and again, even if you want to include the shipping price and all that stuff, under 300 bucks. I mean, that's the thing I love about the Thomann Harley Benton stuff is the value, and the build quality and the playability for the price is really just second to none. This guitar is no exception. Now, one of the things that I like most about this is that the neck is actually surprisingly thin for, you know, a single cut body style like this, right? Sometimes these have big baseball bat necks. This one's very thin. It's 20 millimeters down here by the headstock. It gets slightly thicker as you go up. And then the thinness of the neck, it's kind of a thin C shape. The thinness combined with that perfect satin finish on here just makes this an effortless guitar to play, and it's very, very easy to just get around on the neck. It doesn't feel like it's ever fighting you or getting in your way. And the other thing, I kind of mentioned this before, but I'll just mention it again, is look at this neck carve here. I mean, this neck joint. I mean, it's no big block or anything like that. That's so nice and smooth, and it's got the deep bevel on the back of the body so you can reach up and grab those high notes real easily. This really is just a classic single-cut guitar, but with some really nice, well-chosen, modern upgrades on it, and of course it's for a great price. Also, these Roswell pickups, they're surprisingly hot. I mean, it's a very kind of mid-rangey, pretty hot sounding pickup. And the coil splitting is, you know, it's pretty good. I mean, they're never gonna sound like genuine single coil pickups, you know, like I should say a dedicated single coil pickup. It's never going to sound that glassy or something, but I mean, you can definitely get some Stratier type sounds out of this guitar when you pull up that tone knob and split the coils. All right, guys, so I know I'm kind of gushing about this, but for a $200 to $300 guitar that looks this cool and has these specs, I mean, how can you complain? Okay, sure. It'd be even cooler if it had 24 frets, maybe some extra jumbo stainless steel frets or something like that. But of course, all of that stuff is going to drive the price up. And for a guitar that's this style, with these features in this price range, I really can't think of anything that can beat it. The other thing is Harley Benton, they're pretty well established at this point. They've got a big fan base. A lot of customers are like repeat customers, right? They could be resting on their laurels and just, you know, let's just keep selling the same models and stuff. But I love the fact that they continue to improve, and I love the fact that they're putting out slightly more expensive models now, even though this guitar is not one of those. But I love the fact that they're doing that, because An expensive Harley Benton is like $600. And the amount of value that you get in a guitar like that or like this one, it puts so much pressure on those established companies that have been resting on their laurels, right? I mean, it puts the pressure on some healthy competition in the guitar market. Everybody wins. Okay, guys, but let me know what you think of this guitar. Yeah, I like it a lot. Now, I'm going to have links down in the video description below for everything I was talking about. I'll have a link for this guitar. I'm going to slip in a link for my signature guitar as well, plus the Boss IR200. The reason I use that, by the way, I always like to throw this in. That's about a $400 piece of equipment, and it sounds fantastic, really easy to record with. And all the tone in the video is coming from that unit, so there's no extra studio magic going on to make it sound better than it really does or anything like that. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Links down below in the video description. Guys, if you enjoyed the video, thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll talk to you soon.